Hello, and welcome to Preparing to Survive and Thrive Homesteading channel with Charlie B. So, what are we doing tonight? Well, guess what? Well, question that everybody asks sometime during the day. What's for dinner? So, okay, so what I'm having for dinner tonight is chicken. I'm going to grill it out. It's a beautiful day, and I'm going to do some barbecue sauce. So, this is kind of a little recipe I put together, and hopefully it will taste amazing to you as it does to me. I'm going to bring you down so you can see the ingredients. All right, here we go. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to go over the recipe as I make it. And our first item is we're going to use 1 cup of ketchup. Now this can be any ketchup that you want. It can be your homemade ketchup if you like the taste of it. And that's going to take its time to come out. So we're going to pound that out. Yeah, we need to shake that out. Let's get the other one out that we're getting ready to use. That's going to make a little over 2 cups of sauce when I'm done using all the ingredients. So we have 1 cup of oops. We have 1 cup of ketchup. I'm going to clean this little baby out here. And we're going to do 1 cup of yellow mustard. Now, if you want to add a Dijon mustard or a Grey Poupon, feel free to. I want you to make this for your taste, just not to mine. Yeah, I'm going to take the lid off of this one too. I'm hoping the mustard will, the mustard will add a little bit of a tangy taste to it. And if you want more tang, you can always add a little bit of vinegar to it. Sometimes I change up the recipe, but this is a great base for the recipe. And then you can kind of add heat, sweet, extras, whatever else that you want to do. So kind of use this as a base and go from there. Yes, I'm making a mess. Aren't messes wonderful? Okay. I'm going to put that cup in there also. Now remember, if you don't have all these ingredients on hand and you want to make it, just kind of play around and go from there. I'm going to add 1/4 cup of honey. And 1/4 cup of molasses. Now you can always switch out molasses for brown sugar or brown sugar for molasses. That is, if I run out of molasses or I don't have brown sugar, I will switch them out in wet ingredients like this. Normally don't so much in cookies or anything like that. It's usually something that I'm using a lot of wet ingredients. Okay, now let's get to some seasonings. Okay, oh, we got the apple cider vinegar. Forgot that one. So here's the apple cider vinegar. It's just a giant brand. Now, if you don't want quite the tang of the apple cider vinegar, you can always switch it out to a white vinegar, which is not quite as strong. So I'm only going to do a half of this cup. Now remember, you can always add, doctor it up, and go from there. Because most people do add tweaks to it for the way that they want it to taste. Now, my daughter would probably add a whole bunch of spicy peppers to it and stuff like that. And I really don't want to do that. I kind of more like a sweeter barbecue. However, I do want to add a little bit of cinnamon to it. So we're going to do a half a teaspoon of cinnamon. So if you wanted to, you could, if you wanted some real heat, you could add, you could use jalapeno powder or habanero powder or chili powder, anything that's hot that you'd like. Now, here comes where you really, really have to add what you want. I've got some onion powder here. I'm just going to sprinkle this in. I should probably start off with a fourth teaspoon, or not a fourth, a half teaspoon of each of these and then add to them if I want more. And also I'm going to do a fourth teaspoon of garlic powder. You know me and my garlic. And I'm also going to start off with a half teaspoon of turmeric. This is going to be good. And then you can add black pepper and anything else that you want to add to taste. So let's get this over to the stove and we're going to go from there. Okay, so we're going to get this turned on. So it's really warm out here today. Oops, wrong burner. Like close to 80, so of course my pellet and wood stove is turned off. And I'm going to use the grill outside to do the chicken, and to cook up this, I'm going to use the stove in here. Now I'm going to start adding a little bit of pepper. Like I said, this is going to be to taste. So you can also add salt if you want to. Let's bring this closer so you can actually see the color of it. And it's not the prettiest color, but it's kind of a brownish color. As I stir it, it starts to add a little bit more red to it. My spatula, or my whisper decided to come apart. It's kind of got an orangish brown tint to it. But we're going to just mix up those ingredients and let it get warm. Just long enough to mix up the ingredients. I really don't need to make sure that it's hot or anything. And you can also put this in the refrigerator for several hours before or weeks before, whatever you want to do. If you want to make up a lot of it and keep it in the fridge for a couple weeks so you can add it to your pork chops, chicken, maybe a little hamburger, ribs. But it is pretty good. So I'm going to taste it. Very, very, very nice taste. It's got a nice little tangy southern taste to it. So we're going to keep stirring and get this just a little warmer as we go. Okay, so that is my base recipe. Today I'm doing chicken and I want a slight sweeter taste for this. So I'll be doing this recipe on ribs and different things like that so you can see how I change it up with different food items. Our next item, I'm going to add a little bit, about a 1/4 cup of brown sugar. Because I want to add a little extra sweetness to this. but I don't want to overwhelm it. Now, I will tell you that this base recipe does have a mustard taste slightly, and it also has a little bit of a vinegar taste. So we're just going to kind of make it a sweet, tangy barbecue sauce today. My husband doesn't really like hot items. He doesn't really like a spicy barbecue sauce, but he does like a sweet or a tangy one. My daughter would prefer hot peppers. So, but we're going to make it a sweet, tangy one today. Getting better each moment. Just going to keep stirring this and heating it up. Okay, so I'm going to add more brown sugar to this. I haven't made this in a while, so I kind of forgot exactly how tangy it was. I'm going to add another 1/4 cup to this. And I'm going to keep doctoring it up until I get the taste that I want. So right now I've added a total of a 1/2 cup of brown sugar into this. Now you don't want to go overboard too fast, because then you might end up with something that's way, way too sweet, which you can counteract that by adding a little bit more vinegar to it. Now, as I stir this, I definitely want to make sure that it is dissolving the sugar. That's why I'm just adding a little bit at a time. And there's that thing is popping out again. Yep, I need to replace this. I don't like to use the whisks that don't have the coating on them when it comes to pans with Teflon. Let's taste this again. Almost perfect. I'm going to go ahead and add another 1/2 cup and go from there. And pray I don't overdo it, because sometimes I do jump ahead and I overdo it. So there's another 1/4. And here's another 1/4. So we ended up using another full cup of brown sugar. Now remember, I want a sweet and tangy with this. And if you're scared that you're going to end up with it too tangy, cut the vinegar. Instead of a 1/2 cup, go ahead and only use a 1/4 cup, and then it won't be quite so tangy. And then you can always add to it. Yes, I think that is perfect. Okay, so we're going to turn this off and let it cool down, and then I'll put it on the chicken here in a little bit. So we will be back. So along with our barbecue chicken, which I have not gotten the sauce on it yet, we are also doing potatoes with onions. All I did was pour some olive oil on these potatoes and onions. I'm mixing them in right now, and I put salt and pepper on them too. So I just cut the potatoes in probably 1/2 inch chunks. Some of them may be a little bit bigger, some of them may be a little bit smaller. But I'm going to mix these guys up, and then I'm going to put them in a foil lined thin pan to get these on the grill. Uh-oh, there's a ladybug in there. And there's a ladybug out of there. Thank God. And she or he, it is still alive, I think. So we mix these guys up. Make sure we're breaking up the onions. Should be a really good taste. Alrighty, so we'll be back in a few minutes. Okay, so I'm dumping these guys in here. As you can see, there's some oil still left in here, so I'm just going to try to tip this up and get it out of the bowl. So this is going to go out on the grill, and then I'm going to start working on the chicken. We'll be back. All right, so I've got some barbecue sauce in a bowl, and I'm just going to turn the chicken over on the bone side up, where the back is connected, because these are leg and thigh pieces that are stuck together. They were never pulled apart, and I'm not going to bother pulling them apart. So now, because I'm using a brush on this chicken, I did not want to put this brush back and forth in the pan, so I just poured a little bit of it out in the bowl. And hopefully I didn't use too much of it. Woo! Heard that door slam? That's the wind. It just slammed my deck door that led to the deck. So back to what I was doing. I am going to just paint this all over it. Now, I have definitely made enough to make a dipping sauce, so we could add some more dip to it if we wanted to. If my daughter wanted us to take some hot peppers and add to it. I made some candied jalapenos before, and I've got to definitely make some more this year and actually do a video on it. They were amazing. They are amazing. But I did an extra bit of the juice from the jalapenos, and it's nice to mix that in with different things or just use it as a dipping sauce to add some heat to something. Now I'm going to flip them over and just paint it on the side where it's more skin and it looks nicer. No, I don't know the different sides of the chicken. I'm sure there's a word for it, but you can let me know what it is if anybody hears it or knows what it is. Okay, so I'm going to get these finished and head out to the grill. Okay, so this is our chicken out here. It's getting ready to go on the grill. And this is what our potatoes look like. They've already started cooking. I am hand holding this. So excuse me if it starts to shake. I'm just going to lay them down like this. And yes, I like to put these on some tin foil, aluminum foil, however you want to call it. And I'm going to let these guys cook. Probably take close to 45 minutes for everything to cook. And I have the grill on about 3/4 heat to just start off with. I will reduce the temperature as it goes. Okay, so we're going to close this up. And we'll be looking forward to eating some of this. Okay, so we've got this going. And I'm going to turn these guys over, at least I hope. So what I heard is, you know it's done if it comes off really good and easily. So these are not coming off as easily as I had hoped. And I am definitely going to turn down the heat a little bit. Turn it down to medium. Okay, so I actually managed to sit you down so I can turn these guys over more easily. Woo! This is not the easiest thing to do. They're slipping, sliding away. Okay, you can laugh at me. I admit to it. It's kind of messy in here. But they're getting done nicely. And for the last one. Just a little bit on the warm side. Here we go. Yes, I'm making a big mess. But usually when I make a mess, that's when the food's the best. I'm going to let these guys finish cooking. I'll be back in a second. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and start tossing the potatoes up a little bit. I'm going to test them to make sure that they're cooking good. And when I'm done cooking these guys, I'll throw some butter in there. Actually, before I'm done cooking them. So maybe they'll brown a little bit. Yep, they're starting to get done. That's awesomeness. Okay, they can stay up a little bit on that side. So they'll finish cooking, and the chicken's doing awesome. I'll keep you posted. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and start adding a little bit of butter in here just to help it cook and taste even better. If you haven't figured it out, I really like butter. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and start adding a little bit of butter in here just to help it cook and taste even better. If you haven't figured it out, I really like butter. And we are back. So, I've got the chicken and I turned it back over. So the skin side, the one that has the more skin, is up, and I've been checking it to make sure it's done. And the potatoes are nicely done without going mushy. So we're gonna get these off the grill and get them plated up. We'll be back when we get in there. Okay, so what I've got here is my chicken leg, thigh, and drumstick. I have pear with some of my crab apple syrup on it, some star fruit, and my potatoes. So let's do a taste test. Yes, I'm going to cut this before I try to pick it up and put it in my mouth, holding the plate, because that normally doesn't work out very good. Now we have extra sauce that we can pour this on here if we decide we want to. And the potato. Okay, so let me get you up so you can see me do my taste test. Right, for my taste test, my meat. Good flavor, very tender. And the potatoes. I love potatoes done like that. They're not all mushy like they can be sometimes. These are perfect. And let's try some pear and my crab apple syrup. And we all know we love star fruit. So, well, there you go. That's what's for dinner. So, remember, if you like my content, please like, share, and subscribe. And don't look at the mess back there, because yes, I need to clean it up. That's what happens. And my daughter's reaching for food. I think she's hungry. All right. So here we go. Remember, like, share, and subscribe. Charlie B signing out. We'll be back in a minute.